There we
Yeah,
go.
now yes.
We're on. Yes.
Ok,
Bueno, ¿qué tal? Un saludo para todos. Bienvenidos una vez más a Tendencia Rocker. Mi nombre es Sebastián González, una vez más transmitiendo desde el eje cafetero colombiano, desde Armenia. Y el día de hoy les traemos una gran entrevista. Bueno, así también debo comentarles que tenemos un nuevo invitado en cuanto al panel administrador del día de hoy, como lo es Nico Durán, el hijo de Mauro. Como bien saben, eh, el nada más ni nada menos que presidente del club de fans en Colombia de Guns N' Roses. Y también debo presentarles a un amigo de aquí de Armenia, como lo es el gran poeta rockero Adrián González, quien ahora se va a dar a conocer. Pero bueno, hablemos realmente de quién está acá presente hoy, Nico. Tú qué sabes de tantas vainas, ¿quién es este hombre? Who's this man?
bueno, el invitado que tenemos hoy en día es un guitarrista demasiado virtuoso que ha colaborado con muchas personas, el cual se hizo mundialmente conocido por girar con Guns N' Roses y por participar en la grabación del Chinese Democracy. Entonces, bueno, para todos es un honor tener hoy a alguien como Bumblefoot con nosotros. Entonces, nada, muy agradecidos con todos ustedes por la oportunidad, sobre todo con él, y bueno, vamos a ver qué pasa.
Welcome, Ron. How are you, man?
Hola, amigos. Yes, I am good. It's nice to be here with you all.
We are
And
good.
yeah, to everybody listening, watching, however you're doing
Yeah.
this. Good, good. Thank you for having me.
Okay, man. Let's talk about your beginning. But let me explain to the people that we are going to speak in Spanish and English. We are going to make the question in Spanish and English. And later, when you respond the question, we are going to speak what you say in Spanish. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. So we are going to the beginning. When you was a child, what was the first album that you bought?
Oh, okay. Well, I grew up in the boroughs of New York City, and we just moved from Brooklyn to Staten Island, which was this like forgotten borough. It was just nothing but rabbits and deer, and it was like moving to the country compared to Brooklyn. And we moved on to the street where there were all these kids that were my age, and they all had older brothers and sisters that were buying albums all the time. So I would go over to my neighbor's house to play, any of them, and there would just be albums all over the floor, all over the house. And we would just pick them up as kids and just say, oh, this looks like a cool cover. Let's check this out. And we would just go to a turntable, pop something on, and just stare at the speakers and just take in all the music. So this was the mid 70s, and it was this one album that I picked up. It had these four dudes with painted faces. And I was like, look at them, this is weird, let's check this out. And we put it on, and we hear this crowd start cheering, fading in. And this voice, how do you all feel? And it was Kiss Alive. And as soon as I heard that Kiss Alive album that had just come out in September of 1975, I immediately knew that that's what I wanted to do with my life. And I didn't know how to do it. All I knew is whatever they were doing, that's what I wanted to do. And however I was feeling from this, that's how I wanted to make other people feel. I wanted to give that back and make that happen. So I started doing it. I didn't know how, I just figured it out as I went. I didn't know how to play a guitar. I wanted to be a drummer. But my brother, he was older and he wanted to be a drummer also. He got to be the drummer. So then I wanted to be a bass player. Not really knowing what a bass was, but I just knew that Gene Simmons was the bassist. So if I got to spit blood and breathe fire and have monster wings, and then that's what I wanted to do.
Buenísimo. Bueno, entonces yo le preguntaba a Ron que cuál fue el primer álbum que él compró. A lo que Ron me dijo que en su casa con sus hermanos y hermanas que habían muchos álbumes por ahí lanzados, tirados y demás, y que él entonces por allá en el año 75 compró el álbum de unos personajes con las caras pintadas y demás, y que él puso esto allí en el reproductor. Cuando él pone esto en el reproductor, lo que él compró, él dice que él compró principalmente fue el álbum Alive de Kiss, y entonces esto le explotó el bocho, le explotó la cabeza, y pues él me cuenta que a partir de allí, que él quería ser baterista, pero que el hermano de él también quería ser baterista, entonces él dijo, no, voy a ser bajista. Y bueno, pues ahí pasaron otra par de cuestiones, ¿cierto, Nico? ¿Qué más faltó como completar por ahí?
Sí, nada, pues nos comentaba que él venía de Staten Island y se mudó a Nueva York y cuando llegó eh, pues a esta ciudad, que vio que era una ciudad muy grande, que había mucha gente de su edad a mitad de los 70, entonces que la música estaba por todos lados, que todo el mundo se reunía a escuchar discos y que fue en una de estas sesiones que se compró un disco, Kiss Alive, y desde el momento que lo puso, supo que eso que él había sentido se lo quería devolver a las demás personas y que por eso tomó la decisión de convertirse en el gran guitarrista que es hoy en día.
Bueno, Nico, ¿qué quieres preguntarle a Ron?
Bueno, la pregunta que voy a hacer es con qué artista que haya trabajado es el que más admira y por qué razón. So, Bumblefoot, what I wanted to ask you was, uh, who is the artist that you have worked with that you admire the most and why?
Oh my God, there's been so many. I've worked with a lot of people, whether it's something just quick in one time or long term, and there's been such amazing ones. Nancy Sinatra, Frank Sinatra's daughter. These boots are made for walking. You only live twice. We played together. Played with Lita Ford. Played with Robin Ford and Christopher Cross and all kinds of people. So many, almost more than I could even remember. I'll remember half of them once we hang up. Of course, Guns N' Roses, of course, was an incredible experience. Asia, the band, incredible experience with Steve Howe, the guitarist, and Jeff Downes. And I mean, there's been so many. I've done a lot of things with Carmine Appice and his brother Vinny, the drummers, bass players like Tony Franklin and Rudy Sarzo, and singers like Jeff Scott Soto and Dino Jalusic, and guitar players like Brian May and Steve Vai and Joe Satriani. In fact, we jammed together at this arena in 2004, and that's when he recommended me to Guns N' Roses, was after that. Yeah, he was the one that recommended me to them to for all of that. Yes, there's been so many, and still wonderful friends that have come out of it. Every time Asia comes around, get to hang out with Jeff Downes and see him, such a sweetheart of a guy. Jeff Scott Soto, a lot of Jeffs. And he is just a wonderful guy. I'm still working all the time with Derek Sherinian, keyboardist. We had Sons of Apollo together and Whom Gods Destroy. And yes, the band Toto, Steve Lukather. We chat, I'll be seeing them next month. And their keyboardist I actually recommended for them. He was someone that I knew, and when they were looking for a keyboard player, singer, a wonderful guy named Dennis Atlas. I've worked on helping him remix his album, and he's in Toto now, and we've done a lot of gigs together. Sweetheart of a guy. There's been so many. Who am I missing? I know I'm missing a bunch, but yeah, I can't narrow it down to just one. All I can say is that in this life, the decades of doing this, you meet a lot of incredible people, a lot of assholes too. But that's life. Yeah. And even then, the assholes, you know, they might just be an asshole with you. You just don't get along. But they might be the most wonderful person with someone else. So it's been a lot of good experiences, and I'm trying to think, if I had to play with just one person for the rest of my life, who would it be? Well, definitely the drummer Kyle Hughes, he's the drummer on my album. He did the whole album except for one song. That was a guy named Jerry Gaskill from the band King's X. And I've actually done things with every member of King's X. They're an incredible band. If you don't know King's X, do a deep dive starting with their first album back in the late 80s. They're just the most incredible band. So Jerry, the drummer, he played on the song that Brian May and Derek played on my album. And everything else is the incredible Kyle Hughes. Now, this young whippersnapper, Kyle, I'm just trying to be like an old man here. I met him when he was 16 years old. I was touring in Newcastle in England, and his band offered to learn my songs and be my backup band for that one show. I was like, yeah, why not? And they were fantastic. And Kyle was such an amazing drummer. He stole the show. He was a great showman. He just kicked ass. Great guy to work with. Good backing vocals. His parents were wonderful. Just nothing but good things about him. And after that show, I was like, fuck, I want this kid to be my drummer. Like forever, for the rest of time. And we did that. And anytime I would tour, he was my drummer. And when I would record, he's my drummer. So on this album, he's my drummer. Thing is, I don't tour that much anymore. I'm slowing down and just doing more of what I love, which is studio stuff. I did the touring. Now I want to be present in my own life more. So less touring and more studio and things like that. And Kyle is doing lots of wonderful stuff. He's playing with Paul Stanley's son, Evan. They have this band, Amber Wild. He's the drummer of that. He's played with Richie Kotzen as his solo drummer for his music. Graham Bonnet, who was in Alcatraz and Rainbow. Marco Mendoza, the bass player. Yeah, he's doing great things, and he will continue to do great things and just keep climbing. And I'm sure that in all the years to come, he'll be a drummer's name that people know. Yeah. So if I had to pick one person, I'm picking him out of everybody. Because it's more than just fame, bullshit, and all of that stuff. No, it's the character of people and who you want in your life. That means the most. At least to me. Yeah. I need people in my life that I feel a real connection with and a friendship with and love for and want them to be in my life, not people that I dread seeing. So that is an important thing for me when it comes to making music. And if that's not there, I don't want to do it. Yeah. And I don't care how big a gig it is or how famous the people are, or I don't give a fuck about career shit, because you can't take that with you. When you're dead, you're dead. And all you have is this moment, this life. And I don't want to suffer just to be more popular. I refuse. So for me, it's about the quality of people that I keep in my life. And that's what I go for. And I've been fortunate to be able to have both really good people that are very, great players and well accomplished. And I'm sticking with that path. Yeah.
Okay, man. Thanks a lot. Bueno, para resumirles ahí un poco lo que nos dijo Ron, mencionó a muchos artistas, eh, a la hija de Frank Sinatra, mencionó a demasiados artistas, pero dijo
Did he lock up?
que sería Me well?
Nico, se te fue un poco la señal, no te escuchamos bien. Dijiste que él había hablado un poco sobre la hija de Frank Sinatra, que habló de otros grandes artistas como Richie Kotzen, pero que él se quedó con el
Se nos fue.
baterista que tenía ahora finalmente, porque lo conoció muy joven y que él ve más allá de cuestiones artísticas o de fama, que él ve la calidad de persona que es. Que a él el tema de la fama como que no le interesaba mucho, él solamente decir como que se tocó con este o con este otro, sino que también nos explica que para él la calidad humana es muy importante. Entonces, que él se queda con el baterista que acompañó y que ayudó a elaborar este último álbum casi en su totalidad, a excepción de una canción. What's the name, please? Recording.
The drummer,
Yeah.
Kyle
Kyle Hughes.
Hughes.
Okay, Kyle Hughes. Nice. Adrián, let me present you Adrián. Adrián, ¿qué quieres preguntarle a Ron Bumblefoot Thal?
Hola.
Nice to meet you. Nice to see you, my brother.
Pleasure is mine.
The best player guitar of the Guns fucking Roses.
I just
Your album, Bear Requests, is my favorite album. Bear music, bear player. Thank you.
cool.
Una
thank you.
pregunta. Okay, my brother. Su paso en Bogotá, lo recuerdo mucho, el concierto en Chia, The Best Concert, de Guns N' Roses, año 2010. ¿Cuál fue el momento más agradable de esa etapa como guitarrista de Guns N' Roses en esa noche en Bogotá, Colombia?
Okay,
Translation.
he want to ask you about Bogota 2010. He says that he remembered so good that night in Chia, in the Parque Jaime Duque. So he wants to know about your memories of this night. What do you remember? Is a good remember about that?
Let's see, I remember getting there and having a delicious meal and then going with some of the members of the crew, and we just walked around Bogota, and it was wonderful. Yeah, then we had the show day, and I remember it was late. I remember it was a very late night, and that the crowd was fantastic and just so much enthusiasm, and there was just such a fire and energy at the show, and it was late. But the audience was wonderful, and always, yeah.
Still you liking the late night?
Do I like the late night?
Yeah, or not yet. Ok. Bueno, en respuesta a lo que le preguntaba Adrián, Adrián quería saber sobre las memorias de este hombre en cuanto a lo que es su estadía en Bogotá por allá en 2010, cuando él tocó con Guns N' Roses en la gira del Chinese Democracy. Entonces él recuerda que Bogotá era muy bonita, pero él dice que salió en Bogotá siendo ya muy tarde de la noche. Too late in the night. Okay. I want to ask you about your guitar hero. Who are the Ron Bumblefoot Thal guitar hero?
Ooh. Well,
It's a hard one.
mostly-
Excuse me, man.
mostly it's been just people that were in bands that I liked. So just growing up on all the good classic rock, 60s and 70s music, it's the usual people. It's Brian May and Jimmy Page and Jimi Hendrix and Eric Clapton and Angus Young, very much Angus. When I was a kid, I wanted to be just like Angus. I would just run around the room playing these hyperactive blues licks and just Yeah. And then I heard Eddie Van Halen. And that just changed everything. Before that, it was all just, more bluesy playing. And then when I discovered Eddie Van Halen, it just changed the way I looked at a guitar, the way I thought about what a guitar does for a song, for an album, as a voice. And I started experimenting a lot. I started at a very young age, at 12 years old. I started taking apart my guitars and rewiring them and trying all different things and making the weirdest monstrosities of terrible, awful guitars that I just ruined, trying to make these things, trying to make my own fretless guitar by taking a bunch of coins and filling the neck with coins and playing on the surface of them and filing the edges and just all weird, stupid stuff that didn't work. But I loved experimenting. And I would make my own double neck, where I remember there's one guitar where I had the Stratocaster, and I took the bottom part of the Stratocaster and routed out the wood and put another neck in there and made this tiny little mini guitar that sticks out of the bottom of this guitar that played all the notes were an octave higher than a normal guitar. And things like that. I would do a lot of experimenting. And that permission to do that was really from hearing Eddie Van Halen, seeing the way he would put these little instrumental songs in between the band songs and all the weird stuff he would do, the sounds he would get out of his guitar. So really the biggest inspiration would have to be Eddie Van Halen. And then everyone that came after that, Randy Rhoads, huge inspiration. Yeah, absolutely. The way he brought classical guitar music into metal. No one else did it like that, like real classical guitar. Anything from just, the Goodbye to Romance to D to everything. Diary. Yeah, he did something that no one else was doing. And on top of that, he was taking all the evolution of guitar, including Eddie Van Halen's two-handed work, and was doing it his own way. So absolutely, Randy Rhoads was a big inspiration. I remember getting my first Marshall combo and an MXR distortion plus pedal and trying to get Randy's exact sound and yeah. So he was a big one, and Yngwie Malmsteen, hearing him for the first time and just the incredible technique and taking a more, I guess you could say, Baroque approach to classical music. It's more like he was taking traditional classical music meant for violin before there was a guitar, and putting that into guitar and doing a guitar version of that. And yeah, then next thing you know, it's the 80s and it's the world of just crazy guitar shit. And I was into it, yeah. So definitely the main one, though, the one that had the biggest impact on me as a guitar player, Eddie Van Halen. Yeah.
Oof, mind-blowing. These two guys are completely mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Because, bueno, hablemos un poco en español de lo que dijo acá el señor Ron. Y él dijo que en su principio que él miraba pues a muchos guitarristas y que uno de esos era Angus Young. No sé si él quería hacer el paso. He don't say about the footstep of Angus Young. Un poco de esto del paso de Angus Young, pero que luego fue cambiando con el tema y fue revisando pues más guitarristas y que llegó a su vida el señor Eddie Van Halen y que totalmente empezó a mirar todo lo que este señor era capaz de hacer y que dijo que era una de sus bases para ir improvisando y viendo el tema de su técnica, todo lo que hacía. De ahí en adelante encontramos otro guitarrista y que ya es un poco más llevado al hard rock clásico y también al heavy metal, obviamente, como lo es el señor Randy Rhoads, el ex guitarrista de Ozzy Osbourne, que en paz descanse. Él habló también por ahí algo de Brian May, por el tema de que Brian May toca con una moneda, with a coin, he plays with a coin, entonces él habló un poco de Brian May, de la moneda y demás, y entonces también habló un poco de su endorsement, que ahí fue cuando él obtuvo su primer Marshall, y que allí empezó pues, a experimentar un poco más de su sonido. Nico, ¿qué quieres preguntarle?
Bueno, vamos a hablar un poco del nuevo álbum. Bumblefoot, I want to ask you about finally the new album. Well, not so new, but
I guess kind of
okay.
new. January. It's almost
Let's say it's new.
Newish, getting old.
The newest, the newest.
The
Hey, the
latest,
newest.
the latest.
So, in the album, we find a lot of different sounds. For example, in One Scene Forever, my personal favorite song from the album, we find like this nostalgic kind of feeling. In Greekstown Crossing, we find a little bit of like a blues rhythm. So, what I wanted to know is what's the process behind finding your own sound when recording a new album?
I never know what the songs are going to really sound like until life happens and something just turns into a song. And it's random, like Moonshine Hootenanny. That song, I was not planning on writing a song that sounded that way. Do I have a guitar pick? Do I have sound?
Hey man, be careful with that X.
A little bit of sound. So that one, I just was watching TV one night, and there was this documentary on different blues players, and they had this guy named Lonnie Johnson, and he was doing this rhythm that he was playing like to this one song. I was like, I like that. And suddenly I just grabbed my guitar, and without thinking or just anything, just this thing came out of my head. And from there, I was like, I like that. I should make that into a song. And then I thought about this old movie, this comedy movie called Raising Arizona, that had this fun kind of music, like very kind of thing. So I just tapped into that, and I had this, and I just pictured a voice almost going like, and put that in there. And then I'm thinking, all right, so it should stop and there should just be a riff. And I didn't know what the riff would be. I just hit record and something came out. And just playing whatever. And I was like, all right, now it needs to change. Let's bring it up. That's the usual thing to do, to take it somewhere else. And just did whatever and back to it. And then you do the build into. And then I was like, all right, what would be just like a fun wrap up, almost like the chorus of the song. Take it back in and just keep expanding on the idea, and next thing you know, like a song is just starting to like build itself. It's figuring itself out, and you just go with it, and you use your instincts and just say, what do I feel next? So after the second chorus, I was writing a lot of music for the band Whom Gods Destroy, which was very growling, low, dissonant metal, and I was like, all right, I should take it into something that feels that way, because that's just kind of where a lot of my brain was while I was writing this album. So suddenly it goes into all this off time, and it just goes into its own direction. So if I didn't happen to see that documentary on TV that night, that song wouldn't exist. Yeah, and every song is like that. The one before it, Planetary Lockdown. I was on tour with Sons of Apollo, we're touring Europe, and the pandemic hits, and we have to throw all our gear in storage and race home. And that feeling of racing home like there's like a tsunami behind you and you're running ahead of the water. And I had this riff that I came up with for the second Sons of Apollo album. And that thing, and I just held it back and said, you know what, I'm gonna save that one, let's not put it on the album. And the first thing I did when I got home, and suddenly I have all this time where I'm gonna be sitting in this chair for months or years, I finished up that song and put it out and named it Planetary Lockdown. And I did something fun with that song. I made a video, just a 1-minute video where I play the main riff, and instead of playing the solo stuff, I leave it empty, and then the riff again, and just told people, play your own solo, and let's all just do solos to it and share it everywhere. And like 500 people did guitar solos, singing versions, violin, flute, horns, drums, bass, keys, everything. And we would just all share it throughout like the months while we're all in lockdown. And it was a great way for everyone to just sort of stay together, stay connected, channel our energy into something positive. And I saw so many different musicians meet each other, and I got to know them. And Dino Jalusic, the singer, he did a version of the song and wrote words to it. And he became the singer of Whom Gods Destroy. And so that. And the very first song, I was writing all this weird Whom Gods Destroy stuff, all this low dissonant, progressive metal, off-time stuff. And I came up with that riff, and it just turned into the song Simon in Space, which during the pandemic, it's all about living life, and during the pandemic, that was the life lived, what happened, and it all turned into songs. I got a new cat named Simon, and he's my best friend in this whole fucking world. I would take 1,000 bullets for that little cat. I love him to death. And he has this bed shaped like a circle, this circular bed, and he would just sit in it by the window, looking out the window, just patrolling for birds or squirrels. And it had a tilt because he had his big butt, and it looked like he was in a spaceship. So I made, just for my own amusement, an Instagram account called Simon in Space, where it's all pictures of my cat in his bed, but going through space. So as I'm making the song, and it's going through all the different parts of the song, it felt like I was scoring a space movie, a space adventure, of going through an attack of asteroids, and you get through that, and then everything is cleared out, and you sing this beautiful stuff, and there's a melody for that. And a lot of times when I'm making instrumental music, what I'm doing is I'm picturing something visual, and it's almost like writing the music to a movie that's in your head. And that's what I did, and I put it all together. It's like Simon in Space, yeah, it's about my cat, and made the artwork about that as well. And I will shut up now because that's too much to talk about.
Bueno, Nico le estaba preguntando a Ron acerca de su nuevo álbum, Returns. Entonces él le dijo que su canción favorita de este álbum era Planetary Lockdown. Entonces él empezó a hablar un poco sobre él estar viendo televisión y que allí en la televisión pues había algo sobre el tema de blues y él empezó a hacerlo con la guitarra y él dijo, bueno, eso me parece chévere y pues empezó allí a hablar un poco sobre este tema. ¿Qué más dijo, Nico?
Eh, bueno, nos habló que la inspiración para sus canciones en general llegaba por momentos. Puede ser algo que están escuchando.
Sí, 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 all right.
Ah, bueno. Me estaba contando que la inspiración para sus canciones viene de varios focos. Puede ser una película que está viendo, un documental, puede ser su gato, Simon, al cual él dice que adora con todo su corazón.
Que es su
Entonces
mejor
que al
amigo.
momento de componer, que la inspiración llega de cualquier lado.
Bien, incluso nos comentó ahí que él había hecho entonces la primer canción para su gato, ya que su gato es muy juguetón y que en algún momento entonces su gato quedó como en una base, como así parado, y él decía que entonces iba a lanzar a su gato al espacio. Por eso la canción se llama Simon in a Space. Adrián, ¿qué quieres preguntarle a Ron?
Sí, ¿me escuchan?
Sí, sí, pero no te vemos.
Sí, es muy extraño.
Bueno,
Voy a ver si
pregúntale.
abro. No me deja abrir el canal. Bueno, ahí va mi pregunta. Respecto a la música, la voy a hacer en inglés.
Ok.
By request, it's an incredible song. What is your most emotional song for the public? Y because.
Uf, hard
The
one.
most emotional song, do you mean from my album or just life or
Entire life, your entire life, emotional song. What is your entire life most emotional song?
oh it's there's too many to choose from. Okay, I'll
Hard
tell you
one,
what.
hard one.
I will start different situations I'll bring up. First, from the album, the song Funeral March, where just when there was just so much sickness and death, and yeah, yeah. So I made a song that really just felt like we were just all inside this giant funeral, this continuing funeral of just. I pictured everyone staring at their feet, walking on gravel, carrying the caskets, and someone with a bell, boom, and a timpani, boom, and just the whole imagery of a giant continuing funeral, just not stopping, just walking. And I put the sound of the gravel shoes on the ground, and and needed a violin that just cried. And to me, that song is one that I really feel. When I was with the band Asia, this was the first touring that the band did after John Wetton, the founding member of the band, passed away. And in a way, the tour, we were opening for the band Yes, and it felt like it was the tour was almost like a tribute to John Wetton. And there was one song that was just keyboards and vocals, and they would show video of John Wetton in the background, and the song was called "The Smile Has Left Your Eyes." And by the time I would get to the end of that song, I would almost feel like I couldn't sing it because my throat would be getting tense because I was just so, yeah, just feeling thousands of people that are all just as one celebrating the music and the life of this person. That was actually difficult. And so that's two examples. What else? I mean, there's two. I'll leave it at that. Otherwise, I'm going to be talking for another half hour, and it's like, I can't translate this. So let me shut up here.
Relax, relax, man. Bueno, Nico, ¿qué nos decía él sobre la canción más emocional que le ha tocado en su vida?
Bueno, él nos dio dos ejemplos. El primero fue una canción que
De
él nos
Asia.
cuenta que relata más o menos como una historia de guerra. Entonces que al momento de componerla hubo muchos temas con violines, muchos temas así, entonces que fue muy emotivo para él. Y la segunda ya va a un tema más personal, cuando él estaba tocando con la banda Asia, el miembro fundador pues, falleció lamentablemente y la banda compuso junto con Bumblefoot una canción como una especie de tributo. Entonces él nos dice que la primera vez que la tocaron en vivo, él sintió que casi no podía terminar de cantarla, que sentía ese nudo en la garganta. Entonces que para él es una canción muy importante y muy significativa.
Muy bien. Okay, Nico, we had some questions from your dad. So,
Yes, we do.
do you want to ask you about that questions of Mauricio to Ron?
Yes, sure.
Okay, dale. Entonces, ¿qué es lo que pregunta tu
So,
papá?
bueno, él nos dice que quiere saber cuál es la opinión del señor Ron Bumblefoot acerca del futuro de la industria musical y del rock and roll. Entonces, vamos a preguntarle. So, Bumblefoot, we wanted to know what are your thoughts on the future of rock and roll in modern era and music industry overall. So, what are your thoughts on it? What do you think is going to happen?
Okay, well, first, hola, papa! And so, as far as rock music goes, there's a lot of people that spread this bullshit that rock is dead, rock is dead. I mean, the commercial music industry may not have put as much money into rock music as they do pop music right now, because rock music is not the pop music the way it was, let's say, in the 70s or something. But it is doing fantastic. In fact, just this weekend, I played a show with 4 different schools from School of Rock, the bands, the student bands, and you see kids of all ages playing their asses off, and a whole range of music going back from the 60s to right now. Everything. Rock music is alive and well, and if you question it, just go to any school of rock in the world, and it is full, and people are having a great time. It's doing fine. So look at bands like Ghost that are topping the charts, and if you look at a lot of the pop stars that reference a lot of rock music as their inspiration for things, it's alive and well, doing totally fine. And we're not in a world where there are these gatekeepers that stop us from hearing the things that the industry didn't invest in. Because for a long time, that's how it would be. Whatever the labels are investing their money in, and they want to make that money back, that's what they want you to hear, and that's what they want you to buy. And it makes sense. But now, you can find any kind of music anywhere, and everybody has access to everything. So, in that way, the doors are open, and everybody can hear any kind of music, and it's good. So, nothing is dying, nothing is in trouble, nothing is in peril, nothing is going extinct. There is just as much jazz music as there's ever been. There's just as much of anything as there's ever been. If anything, now there's more access to it. And yeah, it's great. So I have no worries or concerns or anything about the future of rock music. If anything, it'll get more interesting as technology changes and more things are possible that we can add to rock music, which has always been what makes music what it is and new styles of music. It's technology that allows for a sampled drum groove or EDM keys and everything. So yeah, it's all good. As technology continues in the music world, more things will be possible and more types of icing we could put on the rock cake to make it interesting, to keep it fresh and interesting and enjoyable and fun to play and fun to listen to. All good as far as I'm concerned. As far as the music business, it's okay. That is something that evolves as well, and you have to evolve with it. Simple as that. Yeah, for my album, okay. What did I do for my album? I did vinyl. Vinyl, yes. And very colorful vinyl filled with tons of art and pictures, and I even, there you can see Simon in there flying the spaceship, and I even gave it art on the album itself. If you're going to do physical stuff, make it beautiful. Go the extra and make it sound good and make it fun to look at, because there's a very different experience when your eyes are looking directly at something compared to looking at it through a screen. It's the difference of seeing a mountain in front of your eyes or seeing a picture of a mountain. This is, when it comes to physical stuff, you're seeing the mountain. So I did that. I did CDs, of course. And with the CD, you got the same thing, all the artwork, you got the disc, and for the booklet, instead of doing a stapled booklet, I made a fold out so that it's like bigger picture of everything. So it's like a little two-sided poster, I guess. And just for fun, just to be funny, I did cassettes. Yes. And the cassette.
You think in everyone, huh?
Yeah.
Cassette, CD, vinyl.
Mm-hmm. And even that is full of art and info and everything. So, did cassettes. And I did, of course, streaming and downloading, which is the most convenient and easy way and expected way. It's almost like these things are like a merch item that if you have a cassette player, you can play music, but we do most of our listening streaming and things like that, or maybe vinyl. But I have something for everyone, and I took it even farther. I teamed up with record label Deco Records, and all the places where I can't get my album on my own, they're taking care of that. So they put it on Amazon, they distribute it to record stores, they're still out there, and they have a partnership with Cargo Records in the UK, who put it in record stores and make it available in Europe. So there's that. Of course, there's new website and merch and all that stuff as well. So if somebody wants a shirt, if they want a pet bowl, a Simon in Space pet bowl for their pet, have that. All kinds of shit like that. What else? Oh, let me put this on. This I gotta show you. Just for fun, because we live in an age, in a world where we can do what I am about to show you. There is, oh, let me find it. Okay. Let me open this up, and where is it? Come on, open. I got like a million browsers. Okay, let's get rid of the Firefox. Let's open Edge, and I think I have it on here. Is it here? Okay, that's just Microsoft Bing. So we're going to go to sis.gloomyware.com, and what you will see is the official, and it's free, just to make something fun that people can enjoy the music with.
There's
A
Simon coming
Simon in Space video game, like an old school retro video game. And if you go to like the Google Play Store, it's there. So all you do is you're in Simon's spaceship. Let me go, there it is, Simon in Space. Tap the screen, new game. So there's Simon's ship. And you just hold it down and you rapid fire at all the things. There's the mice, the alien mice, and collect the bonus startup rings. There's more of them. And just shoot the fuck out of these motherfuckers. Got you. Don't you shoot at me. You don't shoot at me. No. Okay, we got that. And they're coming down at you. And here we go. Get out of here and get the startups. And these guys coming over here. No, you're on mine. Okay, we got, and up there, look, we got the mice, the alien mice, and they're shooting down at you. Just get them, get them, get them, get them. Get them. Okay, and more of these motherfuckers. Get them. Okay. All right, so this is another way to enjoy the album release. You can release your album and just put it on Spotify, and that's fine. But I love the old days when an album release was an event and there was a lot to it. So you have all the things that you can get, you know, the vinyl. There's a video game that you can play. And I took all my weird guitar sounds from the album, and you could download those so that you could get all the strange, because there's a lot of strange guitar sounds on this album. So again, technology, using what we have. So all of that you could download and put them into your Line 6 Helix pedal, and you'll get the exact weird sounds that you can modify and make your own weird sounds out of those. What else? Did a transcription book where every single thing played on that album, every finger, every picking direction, the strings, the musical notation, all of it, for every backing guitar, everything is in this. And it comes with backing tracks so that you can put on the backing tracks, you'll learn the song from the transcriptions, and you can now play along with the songs. And you don't hear mind doodling in the way, it's just the backing music for you to play to. Next things I'm going to do is I'm going to make some hot sauces, because I do have a hot sauce company. I love hot sauce. Spicy food, yes. So I'm gonna make some album-inspired hot sauces. I'll do like a moonshine hootenanny hot sauce. That's like a Louisiana red hot sauce. And a monstruoso hot sauce. That's like, you know, fire and maybe funeral march, which just kills you when you eat it, just so hot. And what else? A comic book. Gonna do a Bumblefoot comic book. And the electronic version of it will have links and different things that'll take you to different stuff. So these are all the things planned around this album release. It's not just music, it's just a whole bunch of stuff that should hopefully make life a little more fun. That's the idea. Yeah.
Do you create a whole entire planet, universe experience from your latest album? Awesome.
Yeah, as it should be. If possible, do it. Yeah.
Bueno, Nico le preguntaba entonces, let's translate to the people, ¿ok?
Listo. Bueno, le pregunté que, como ya saben, qué opinaba acerca del futuro del rock and roll y de la industria musical en general. Él me dijo que no está para nada preocupado, que si tienen alguna duda del futuro del rock and roll, que vayan a visitar alguna de las muchas escuelas de rock que hay y vean a todos los jóvenes, que todos son muy talentosos, que todos tienen mucho futuro y mucha pasión por lo que hacen. Me dijo que claramente pues se financia más, obviamente, la música pop y la música mainstream, pero que el rock and roll no ha muerto. Me pareció muy bonito lo que nos mostró, que él dijo que si en algún momento quieren como músicos lanzar algo, lo hagan de una manera grande, lo hagan hermoso, como pudieron ver el arte del vinilo, del CD, hasta un videojuego sacó él basándose
Y que
en
viene
su
un
último
cómic.
álbum. Entonces, como pueden ver, si hay alguien dedicado a su música y a su arte, es este señor definitivamente.
Amen. So I got a twice of questions to ask you.
Very good.
First, many people, and we include to all who are in this call, consider to you a virtuoso guitarist. Do you consider that you are a virtuoso guitarist, guitar player?
I consider myself a student,
A student?
forever a student.
Sure.
Because the way I look at it is, and we should all look at life this way and everything we do this way, which is there's an infinite road ahead of you of possibilities of what you can learn, of what you can share, of what you can experience. And no matter how far you get on that road, you're always in perspective just at the beginning. And there's
So
always
you
more
are
to
always
learn.
learning. You are always
So-
learning.
Absolutely, yeah. There's always more you could learn, more you can grow, more you can do. So we are all forever students.
Ok, bueno. La primera fue entonces que le pregunté, que le dije que nosotros, los que estamos en esta llamada, lo consideramos un virtuoso guitarrista. Le pregunté a Ron si él se considera un guitarrista virtuoso y él me dice que se considera un estudiante. Entonces todos quedamos acá en shock porque pues no esperábamos que él dijera esto. Pero entonces, ¿qué es lo que él nos comenta con esto? Primero, que siempre mantiene aprendiendo y que siempre hay una oportunidad de crecer. Okay, the second question is about the double master of your guitar. Why double master guitar? Why you choose it?
All right. So I always built my own guitars, and they were terrible, but they were mine, and yeah, and that's what I used. And it was 1997, and I was doing a tour through France, and somebody brought a guitar and showed it to me and said, "I'd like you to try this guitar. I want you to play this guitar." And it was a company from France called Vigier, Vigier. And I told them that I didn't want any endorsements. I build my own guitars. I'm not looking for gear. I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. And he insisted. He was like, just play the guitar, just feel it. And I played the guitar, and it was so much better than mine. My guitar that I made was terrible. It was awful. And this thing was just like a stick of butter, just so I met with the owner of the company, and we talked about different things. I said how I love to make my own guitars because it's just also artistic expression, just another way of like making a painting or something. Like it's just another way of letting that out. And he agreed that he would make all my strange guitars for me, the weird ideas that I had and he had. And instead of just playing the standard guitar that would be hanging up at the guitar shop, it would be something more individual, with more personality of the person playing it. So the first guitar that they made for me was one that looked like the old Bumblefoot album cover from 1995. It was this foot with wings, and when you would bend down the bar to, the wings would pop out with it. And it was a genius mechanism he came up with. So there was that. But they made fretless guitars. And that had nothing to do with me. That's just something that they did with the metal necks. And I just loved them. So I started playing them and writing a lot more music with them. and just using them all the time, the way very often people would use a slide, and they would, you know, and just use it like that for everything. Well, with a fretless guitar, you don't need that slide. The guitar itself is like a slide, and every note you hit is a slide. So, I was using this more and more for songs I was writing and things I was doing. Chinese democracy. You know, when we were laying tracks and coming up with ideas, I brought a fretless and a fretted and a wah pedal and this amp and that amp, and we would just experiment. That ended up making the album, that part, in the verses, all those slidey, fretless things. So I was using fretless more and more, and it got to a point where it was becoming a problem having to choose to either play an entire song on a fretless or on a fretted. And the only good answer was to have a double neck where you can switch. So you have and then everything, and you could do it all back and forth as needed. So since I guess 2009, yeah, they made me this double neck fretted fretless, and it's the guitar I use for everything in every band, everything I write, everything I do. It's sort of my whole guitar rig in one. Yeah.
Let me question. Are you okay of your back?
I used to be 6 inches taller, and wearing this thing. Totally.
Be careful, man, be careful. Ok, yo le preguntaba a Ron sobre, primero lo que les decía ahora, y en este momento sobre su doble guitarra. Entonces él nos dice que para él fue mucho más fácil a partir de ese instrumento expresarse tratando de hacer muchas más cosas que otras personas quizás hacen con una guitarra simple de un solo mástil, que es como aquel pintor que logra pintar totalmente con sus distintos colores y hacer toda una expresión artística de lo que él ve posible hacer. Entonces, que por eso él le parece que es mucho más práctico y pues le gusta mucho más este tipo de doble guitarra. Ahora, también nos puso un ejemplo de que las personas que por lo general utilizan una guitarra de un solo mástil utilizan el slide, mientras que él con esta guitarra pues puede utilizar normalmente este primer mástil, el mástil de arriba, con el dedo normal sin la necesidad del slide. Entonces que le permite llegar a muchas más notas y hacer pues colores mucho más cálidos también. Vamos con Adrián y luego con Nico. Bueno, Nico tiene por ahí una pregunta sobre una versión de un tema de Guns, ¿ok? Pero entonces vamos con Adrián. Adrián, come in, man.
It's gotta unmute.
Let me hear you. Let me hear you. Okay, that's right. Brother, I consider your teacher because I am one too. I've seen some videos of rock school and some high school where you spirit the kids and any war. Are you perhaps giving a beautiful legacy to those generations so rocks doesn't die?
Well, I think it's the best thing we can do. Yes. Somebody taught it to me and gave me this whole life I wouldn't have had if they didn't do that. And if I could do that for other people, that's the best thing in the world. Absolutely. And in fact, it's what I love the most about music. I prefer to produce bands and to teach more than I like being on stage. That's just me, but that's how I feel. I'm happier when I see a student of mine go on to do something great than if I'm playing a show. I would rather see them play a show and be the coach that helps them get on the field and to experience all the crazy shit that I did and to have decades of traveling the world and meeting amazing people and making lots of music and doing everything you love. Absolutely. If I can help people do that, that I feel gives my life more meaning than if I do it myself.
Pretty nice, ok. Aquí Adrián le preguntó un poco a Ron sobre enseñarle a los chicos y producir también. Entonces Ron le responde a Adrián que le parece que eso es lo mejor que él puede hacer en su vida y que muchas veces prefiere producir que estar encima de un escenario. Ok, Nico's dad have a question about Guns N' Roses versions of Don't Cry, Knocking on Heaven's Door when you was in the band. Tell us, Nico.
So, Bumblefoot, we know that when you played those songs live, there were like little variations. Was that your thing? Was that your idea? Or you were just doing what you were told?
Oh, no. It was kind of pretty much improvised every time. It's something where I remember every time I had to take a guitar solo when I first joined the band, I would just cringe. It's like, oh, nobody wants to hear me do this. They want to hear Guns N' Roses songs. They don't want to hear me playing all this stupid, noodly shit. And I would always answer all the emails that fans would send. And they would always say, oh, I wish you guys did Don't Cry. So I remember we were playing a festival and it was time to do my solo and all my, stupid, and all that shit. And all my R2-D2 shit. And I remember I just looked out at the crowd and I just started playing the song. And I remember someone in my in-ear monitor said, "What are you doing?" Because it's not a song that we would play. And the audience started singing along, and it became this nice thing that we would do, where I would bring it down, I would play just some variation of the song that would include the melody and chords and everything. And it's gonna be different every time. Just whatever I'm thinking at the time, because there's a million ways to play it. You could add harmonies. Different octave. Maybe more blues. And you just, whatever it is, you just make it up as you go. And you could do that with any song. You mentioned Heaven's Door. And yeah, I think we lost.
Man.
So yes, that Don't Cry, every night is going to be a little different because it's not something that I planned out exactly. It's not, no, it's just thinking of the song, and this is what just part of playing. I think of the song, I think of the parts of the song, and wherever my hand goes, it goes, and I just make that happen. And I could do that for any song you come up with. You name a song, and I just think of the parts and just put them together, anything. Could be any song. If you name a song, and if I know it, I'll be able to kind of put it all together. Yeah, so that's what I did. If you want to test me, go ahead. Up to you.
You know that what song that you played shocked me? The solo of Comfortably Numb.
Oh, yeah.
You played with Art of Anarchy or?
Oh, no, Sons of Apollo.
Ah,
We did
Sons of
at the
Apollo. Okay,
stage.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
We're just going to go and just do whatever. Rip. I was like, shit. So I just started doing all crazy stuff. But yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, just legendary solo. Everything about it. Yeah, amazing. Just an
Bien.
incredible.
Entonces, el papá de Nico, Mauro, estaba preguntando sobre esto, sobre las versiones que él tenía en vivo de algunas canciones, como lo era Don't Cry, como lo era también, por ejemplo, Knocking on Heaven's Door. ¿Qué es lo que él dice acerca de esto, Nico?
Bueno, él nos cuenta que cuando entró, que tenía como un sentimiento, como, nadie me quiere escuchar tocar esto, ya. Pero ya cuando se sintió cómodo y se acopló con la banda, dice que una noche, cuando estaba tocando Don't Cry, pues empezó a ponerle arreglos, armonías, y que a la gente le gustó mucho y que empezó a cantarlo de vuelta. Entonces que todas las noches, cada show, lo que él hacía en la guitarra durante esta canción podía ser diferente, que le gustaba ver cómo surgía en el momento, cómo él lo sintiera, y como pudieron ver, pues improvisa y lo hace de una manera increíble y suena hermoso. Entonces, bueno, ya tenemos la respuesta. Este cambio, esta alteración en las canciones es totalmente idea de él y salió muy bien.
Adriancho.
Hey, hear you?
Hey!
¿Sí me escuchas?
Yeah.
Hey, brother, Master Bumblefoot. One question, my master Bumblefoot.
Yes.
How was that experience with Kiko Loureiro, another rock guitar legend in Sao Paulo? Tell me.
Yeah, we've known each other for a very long time, probably 25 years maybe. Yeah, he was doing that solo tour and asked if I would join and play a couple of songs, and absolutely wonderful. Yeah, Kiko is such an incredible guitar player and a wonderful guy, and I knew some of the bandmates as well from Angra, and like Bruno Valverde, the drummer, he plays in Whom Gods Destroy. Together we did, and Felipe Andrioli, incredible bass player, and just Lirio Neto. There's so many incredible musicians in Brazil. My God, all around that Angra universe of that band. So yeah, it was wonderful. Just come out and play. It was cold. My God, it was freezing. It was so fucking cold on that stage. I remember when I first got on there, and it was like 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm trying to bend. I'm like, yeah, but wonderful. Yeah, great songs and just good jamming and good conversations, good food and everything. It's all about the food. I make
Latin
music
America
for food.
food is pretty nice, ¿no? Ok, Adrián le estaba preguntando a Ron sobre su toque con Kiko Loureiro, sobre ese par de canciones que estuvo por ahí tocando y que además también estuvo con Bruno Valverde de Angra, a lo que él dice que, bueno, que allí hace mucho calor, que la comida de Latinoamérica y pues de Brasil es muy buena, entonces que la pasó muy bien. Recordemos que Kiko Loureiro es un guitarrista maravilloso que ha pasado también por Megadeth, entre otras cosas, y pues él dice que lo conoce hace unos 25 años. Bien, let me ask you about your favorite songs of your bands that you have played.
Okay.
What are these?
Let me think. Well, Let's start with Guns. I always like playing Paradise City because that means that the 3.5 hour show is finished and I get to eat dinner. But seriously, I liked playing Shacklers because it kept me very busy. All the solos and all the, singing and I don't believe there's a reason I don't believe it. I don't believe there's a reason I... Where'd it go? So, yeah, I felt like I contributed to that song, and so I enjoyed playing that one. That was always fun. Asia, let's see. There was, so many. Maybe Soul Survivor was a fun one. There's a lot of cool stuff in that song. There was, of course, Heat of the moment, tell me what your heart meant. That one, there was, of course, You're Leaving Now. There's that one. Beautiful songs, just a lot of fun to play. With Sons of Apollo, probably the song Signs of the Time I really liked playing. Everyone would always compare it to like Roots, bloody Roots. And that was a fun one and just good energy and like had a crazy solo that was fun to play. Lita Ford, let's see. Because there was one summer where on 2 days' notice, she called me from Sweden. It's like, I got to finish up the summer tour and I want to change up the lineup of the band. And so it was me, my drummer, got my friend PJ Farley on bass, and we learned 15 songs in 2 days and played all over European festivals and casinos in the US. And so it was fun to play with her. There was the Ozzy duet. That was a nice one to play. Close your eyes. And let's see. Nancy Sinatra. I like doing, for that one gig, You Only Live Twice. When Gods Destroy. There's a lot of crazy stuff on that, but we never gigged. Who else? Who else have I played with? I can't remember.
I know it's a hard one. I know it.
I did it at this wonderful festival called Starmus Festival.
Do you
I played
miss the big gigs?
That one, it was just a big live festival, and one in Armenia in 2022. There were just 3 of us on stage. It was Brian May, Graham Golding, who wrote a lot of the hits for the Yardbirds and 10cc, and me. And just the 3 of us, just doing a lot of Yardbird songs. And just all, that was fun, and doing, and yeah, that was nice. What else? I don't know, there's just been so damn many. But yeah, I guess that's a good thing. If you can't remember them all, that's a good thing.
Ahí le preguntaba entonces a Mr. Bumblefoot les preguntaba sobre sus canciones que más le gustó tocar o que mejor le gustaron pues de sus distintas etapas, de sus distintas bandas. Y pues ahí nos dio un poco, eso fue práctico. It was practical. Okay, I got
Well,
a little
there's one thing I
question.
should say though. As a guitar player, I enjoyed playing shacklers and stuff like that. But the truth is, I think my favorite song to play was Sweet Child,
Sweet
because that's the
Child.
one where the entire audience would erupt the most. And even the casual fans, it was their favorite song. And it was like the song that made people the happiest. So that never gets boring. That never gets old when you're making people happy. So yeah.
We had bueno, maravilloso. Él dice que la canción que más disfrutó fue Sweet Child of Mine, porque esta levantaba a la audiencia siempre y pues hizo mucho con ello siempre que la cantó, la tocó y demás. Bueno, acá tenemos una pregunta de nuestro amigo Mateo Ramírez. I got a question of our friend Mateo Ramírez. Can you salute to Mateo?
Hola, Mateo!
Ok, entonces Mateo dice, of everything you have experienced in your career, is there a moment or experience that changed the way that you see the music or how you make it?
Oh, there's always a continuation of those little moments. Yeah, so many things. I think it's just the more you do it, the more those moments happen. Trying to think. Usually the moment will happen if I go back and look at something I did and realize that I shouldn't have done it and I could have done it differently. If I overplayed in a solo and if I'm younger and feeling like I have to prove myself in every song and you realize that some songs all they need is just one nice note or something like that. So I think that kind of stuff happens, but it's just growing up. So moments that change the way I look at things, I don't know. I think that continually happens as long as you keep looking at things and you don't cover your eyes and just keep doing the same thing all the time and the same approach and the same mentality. Always keep your eyes open and look for things that you could do better, things you're doing right, and yeah. So
Buenísimo.
I don't know if I could really pick one specific thing. There's lessons that I've learned about just personal sacrifice and when not to make it for the case of music, and when real life is more important, and we all have the idea that the show must go on no matter what, do or die, and that kind of thing. I don't think that way anymore. I used to, and it's caused a lot of problems, like touring after a car accident where I had a concussion and a spine injury and permanent nerve damage in my arms, and I should have stayed home. But I was like, I need to tour, I can't let everyone down, I need to do these shows. You realize that the world will go on. The world will not end. You might disappoint some people, but you have to take care of yourself too, and put yourself in the equation of everybody that you're trying to do right by. So lessons like that. It's not even a musical lesson, it's more of a philosophy lesson.
Buenísimo.
Learning how to say no. Yeah.
Bueno, de todo esto un poco vamos a resumir en la pregunta que hizo Mateo. Mateo le preguntó a él que de todo lo que había experimentado en la carrera, que si era un momento para experimentar los cambios o la forma en que él había cambiado o veía la música a través de los años y pues que cómo lo había sentido. Entonces él dice que esto es un poco parte de crecer, parte de lo que él va sintiendo, de entender que es más importante también la vida real, no solo el hecho de que el show debe continuar, no solo quedarse en este The show must go on, sino también de vivir, entre otras cuestiones. Entonces, pues que más allá también de las lecciones que él brinda o de todas las experiencias que él ha tomado, que esto va mucho más allá. ¿Qué más nos contó Nico?
Bueno, nada, nos dijo que siempre ha tenido, que constantemente tiene experiencias que le hacen cambiar su percepción tanto de la vida como de la música y describió una muy puntual, que fue un accidente que tuvo, el cual le afectó a su espalda, pero nos dijo que él después del accidente debió haberse quedado en casa, pero que él sentía que no podía decepcionar a la gente, que tenía que salir de gira, que sentía esa obligación. Entonces que con los años pues entiende que hay cosas que se deben priorizar y nada, que
Como
constantemente está
dice,
aprendiendo
primero la
acerca
vida
de
real,
todo su entorno,
como dice, el primero la vida real y luego ese tema.
¿cierto?
Y eso es una cosa muy cierta. Okay, we are going to make the last one round of questions, okay? So, Adrián, ¿cuál va a ser tu última pregunta? Adrián, what is your last question from Mr. Ron Bumblefoot Hall?
Ok, bien. Seba, ¿sí me escuchan? ¿Sí? Ok, son dos preguntas. Es algo, una curiosidad. What is your favorite Spanish rock band? And show with Guns N' Roses, you performed the James Bond intro. Are you 007 fan?
Oh, say that again. Let me make sure I got that right. Um, can you say it one more time? So,
He says, first, about. ¿Qué fue lo primero, Adrián? ¿Qué fue lo primero? Let me ask it again.
What is your
About,
favorite? What is your favorite Spanish rock band?
Ok. ¿Cuál
favorite
es la.
Spanish rock band? Shit. Well, I gotta say, I do like Angra. I
But
really do.
it's
I know I'm keeping it
Portuguese. That is
like,
Portuguese, man.
well, okay. I'm thinking just in general, the continent, South America. Okay,
Exactly.
Spanish rock band then. Fuck. I don't know.
What?
Okay.
I'm thinking, I'm like thinking of a bunch of bands like from Mexico to Chile. There was this band called Delta that I really liked. The guitarist, Ben, just fucking incredible. Great guitar player.
Bien. Y
I
la
hope they're still
otra,
around, but back then there was a band Delta from Chile
Delta,
that
de
was really
Chile.
fucking good. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Delta de
Y,
Chile. Bien.
y la
Y
otra
la
pregunta.
otra era if you are fan of James Bond, because he says that you played on a live concert the intro of the movie.
Well, do I like James Bond? Yeah, absolutely. I know Richard for his guitar solo would do the James Bond theme. He would do something from, but yeah, of course, it's classic stuff.
Yeah.
Sure.
And what
Absolutely.
about the Pink Panther theme? That
Mm-hmm.
too? Pretty nice.
I could almost use this. Might be too loud though. Let's see. That's just fucking annoying. All right, let's get rid of that.
Great.
Yeah, but yeah, absolutely.
Bien, entonces a las dos preguntas de Adrián que él hacía era, la primera, ¿cuál es su banda favorita de rock en español? A lo que él dice que ha escuchado muy buenas bandas mexicanas, entre otras, y que se queda con la banda chilena Delta, Delta, sí. Él se queda con la banda chilena Delta. Adrián luego le preguntó sobre si él es fan de 007 y sus películas, porque lo había visto tocando este intro y él nos regaló este intro. Él dice que él es un gran fan de 007. Nico, ¿cuál es la última pregunta que quieres hacerle a este hombre?
Bueno, ya le preguntamos acerca de los artistas con los que ha trabajado, entonces nos gustaría saber ahora con qué artista le gustaría trabajar. So, Bumblefoot, we talked earlier about the artists that you have worked with, but now we would like to know what artist that you haven't worked with yet would you like to collaborate?
Oh, I don't know. Anyone who's not a dick. Uh, yeah, it doesn't even matter what kind of music, just someone that could be a cool collaboration where you just make something really special together. I know the usual answer is Dave Grohl because he seems like just a cool dude. Yeah, definitely. He's on that list. Who else? I mean, there's so many. It could be anyone. It could be an opera singer. It could be fucking Lady Gaga, who's talented as fuck. I don't know. I tend to not make plans or think about that much, and next thing you know, out of nowhere, just paths cross, and you're doing something together, and you never know. You never know. So I don't know. I mean, there's a million people, and I think of all of the bands that I grew up with that I love, and I think, oh, I would love to work with them. And then I think to myself, actually, I'd rather just be a listener and just enjoy them from a distance because it's different inside it. It's a different creature. So I think for a lot of things, yeah. All right, you know what, I'll just keep it simple. All right, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, Jimmy Page, Dave Grohl.
Pretty good guitarist and people, huh? Nice.
And I should be naming some more and other instruments. I'm naming guitar players there.
But you gave it to the top because you have played with Brian May to Jet.
Yeah.
Bueno,
And,
entonces
yeah,
estaba preguntando, Nicolás le estaba preguntando sobre qué otros artistas con los que le quisiera colaborar. A lo que él dice que él quisiera colaborar con muchos, que probablemente como él lo dijo con Jimmy Page, con otros guitarristas, pero también dijo personas como Dave Grohl, que le parece que es un nice guy, un tipo bueno, chévere, que también pudiera gustarle participar con personas como Lady Gaga, como en su momento lo hizo Metallica, bien, y bueno, pues él dice que él está abierto igual como siempre lo ha hecho a participar con otras personas. Yo, mi persona, le dije que él ya había tocado el top porque pues había tocado con Brian May ya en su último álbum y bueno, I got
that band, yeah. You know that French band,
Gojira.
I can pronounce it Igor, Igorrr.
Gojira?
Very, very interesting band.
Yeah.
I'd like to do something with them. If I was
Okay.
gonna just like, yeah, because they're just,
Ok.
I like them.
Y también dice que Gojira. Ok. The last question myself is, saying all that you have achieved in your career, what you would say to the Ron on the childhood when you was beginning? Hey,
Uh,
what you would
exercise
say
more.
to what do you would say to the child that you was?
Child version of myself. What would I tell
Okay,
if I
yeah,
could go back in
yeah.
time?
What
Yeah.
you would say to Ron? Hey, Ron, what do you would say to Ron child?
I would say exercise more. Get off your ass, put down the guitar for a minute, and run around the room. Get more exercise. That's what I would say. And then I would say, buy Bitcoin.
Run now, run now. Bien, bien. O sea, tú le dirías a la versión pequeña Ron, practica más, practice more practice. Le dirías más práctica y le diría que saque su culo. ¿De dónde, perdón? O sea, que mueva el culo y que siga practicando y que...
Nada, que de vez en cuando se pare de la silla, suelte la guitarra y haga un poco de ejercicio, que tampoco puede estar todo el día sentado tocando guitarra.
Ok, chicos, la despedida por parte de la mesa. Adriancho, last words.
Okay, okay.
His last words are.
That's the last word. Thanks so much, my friend. Your best played guitar in the world. Thank you for Tendencia Rocker. Nice to see you, my friend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate your questions and your being here. Yes, thank you.
Nico.
Well, man, it was a total pleasure to be able to have this conversation with you. You're like a legend for all of us, and we were really glad that we could have this interview. So thanks again, and I'll try your game out. It looks really fun.
Yeah, it is. Play the game. I want to see what your high score is. Send me a screenshot of your highest
Okay,
score.
I'll try to beat you.
Oh, you'll definitely beat me. It's great doing this with you. Absolutely. Thank
All
you.
right.
In name of these people and who says our program or who hear this, I have to say thank you because we enjoy it a lot. So I know that Adrian was happy with this. Nico too, because Nico is a hard one Guns N' Roses fan that I was too. And see you later.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate all of your time and certainly, yeah. And to everyone watching, listening, thank you all. And we'll see you out there. And hopefully we'll get to see each other face to face, eat some food, talk more music, and
Come to
enjoy
Colombia,
life.
man. Come to Colombia, and
I would love to.
so we will stay with hear from you, man. Come on, come on. Bueno,
Absolutely.
agradecida entonces aquí al hombre, a nombre de toda la mesa, de Adrián, de Nicolás, de todos los que han apoyado, todos los que no han visto, decirle que lo esperamos. Él dice que él espera venir pronto a Latinoamérica, que le gusta, como él dice ahora, la buena comida de Latinoamérica y que él espera pronto volver. Así que esto fue Tendencia Rocker con el señor Bumblefoot, Thal. Thank you, man. See you
Thank
later.
you so much. You guys have a great day. Absolutely.